Greetings and salutations, welcome to Kinda Funny Games. My name is Colin, this is Tim, and Tim, we're here to talk about a trifecta of Nintendo news today. Three important things were announced yesterday by Nintendo, something specifically that a lot of people thought was going to happen a long time ago and then maybe never would, ultimately. So let's unpack these things one by one and talk about them. I think where I want to start first is Nintendo is going to officially sanction the creation of a plethora of mobile games. Smartphone games and tablet games. Now, to be clear, these are not going to be ports of existing games, and they are partnering with DNA, which is a significant and talented Japanese mobile developer, to get these games out there. So, on the periphery, how does this news strike you?
I love this. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people hate this, and people hate mobile games. I don't get that. Mobile games are good, and yes, there's a shit ton of really bad ones, but when you get a good mobile game, you can play that thing forever, and your phone's always on you. So I think that's a good thing. When you get a developer like Nintendo that makes amazing games, and if you have them making a game for that platform, and I like the fact that they're like, oh, we're not just gonna port 3DS or Wii U stuff. Do I wish that they'd have some virtual console things and old ones? Yeah, but then again, it's like, no, when you play Sonic, like Sonic 1 or 2 that Sega put on it, it feels like shit. It's not meant for that. But if they're making a Pokemon game for iOS, holy crap, that sounds amazing to me. I don't want no, Pokemon Candy Crush. I'm talking a Pokemon RPG game. That can be amazing.
Yeah, I think that this is a nice acknowledgement on Nintendo's part, first of all, that touch controls cannot work for their games. Nintendo's known largely for tight controlling, really well-made games. And so saying like we're not going to port something like Mario Galaxy or something to a phone or a tablet makes a lot of sense to me. Iwata described this decision as rational, which I think is exactly what it is. A lot of internet business people out there that don't seem to understand money always talk about how Nintendo has all this money in the bank, $18, $19 billion, not understanding that that money will whittle away to $0 very quickly if they don't have something to sustain their business. Wii U is largely a dud. 3DS is significantly lagging behind the DS. So they need to go into a different direction, and this makes a lot of sense. Now, with that said, this will dilute, I think, some of Nintendo's ability to stay in hardware ultimately, and I think we'll get to that in a minute with another announcement they made. But because consider this, people will buy the last Pokemon game sold a few million copies. And people buy 3DSs for a Pokemon game. Now, if you can get a core Pokemon game or a Pokemon-style game on your phone or your tablet, you no longer need that hardware. This is the inherent catch-22 that Nintendo finds themselves in, but they knew they were going to find themselves in.
Eventually. It had to happen. But here, imagine this though, Colin. What if it's not Pokemon games? What if it's like Elite Beat Agents? What if it's these things that like aren't going to sell the 3DS and stuff, but would be amazing and right at home on that platform? I think that's great.
It would be cool. This is going to require a very careful dance with Nintendo as the IP holder and DNA as the developer and distributor of the games. I think that this is a logical idea. I am just really interested to see how this affects other parts of their business, which brings us to the second announcement, which is NX, Project NX. This is their next, what they call a, quote, dedicated gaming system, end quote. And they just teased that this is in development. Now, this isn't surprising. Sony is probably, for instance, already R&Ding PlayStation 5, and Microsoft is probably already R&Ding what the next Xbox will be. This happens many years in advance, so it's not surprising that they're working on the new concept.
The fact that they would announce it.
That's important for them to do. It's important for them to say.
Also, going back to the phone stuff, that's this year.
Yep, fall 2015. I have that right here. Fall 2015.
Which is crazy.
So the ball's in play.
Yeah. There's a little confusion because some people are thinking that the NX is this year.
No. There's no way. There's no way. Although I think the NX might be, 18 months to 2 years away. I mean, that's just my conjecture based on what we've often been talking about a hybrid console handheld system, which is what this could be. They could describe this as a, quote, new concept. And with the announcement of the DNA partnership, Iwata says that it gave them an even stronger passion and vision, end quote, for hardware. Now, this is a necessary announcement for them to make, or at least a necessary tease for them to make to let their core gamers know that hardware is still coming and they will continue to support
we're not
hardware.
Just going mobile completely.
But there's an inherent conundrum here. Nintendo's in a significant conundrum now because, in my opinion, because they cater mostly towards, and I don't want to say completely, but mostly towards, or try to cater mostly towards a more casual and a younger audience. The casual and younger audience is already on smartphone and tablet. They're going to eat up those DNA games by Nintendo. are they therefore going to go in this other direction? It's almost it's a similar kind of question. Like, how are they going to cannibalize their own hardware sales? And as I was talking to Greg before, I'm not sure that Nintendo can have their cake and eat it too with this announcement. Like, they're putting everything forward, but will they be able to sustain both of these ecosystems without destroying one or the other remains to be seen. It seems like the DNA announcement, though, is pure money for them.
Yeah.
The final thing they announced, Tim, was a membership service.
Yes.
And this is kind of nebulous. I don't really know what this means, but it's something that tethers the Wii U, 3DS, PC, phone, and tablet together.
And the NX.
And then NX when that comes out.
So what's interesting about that, I mean, essentially this is why Club Nintendo died. This is the future of Club Nintendo, and it's some ecosystem that works between all of the different things, which is cool. I mean, hey, that's a good thing. There's nothing bad about that. So
yeah, this is I think the thing that's most in the air, and something I'm most interested to see what this actually materializes to be for the end user.
You know, what do I want it to be? I want it to be the thing that we've always dreamed of, which is the whole cross-buy, cross-save, cross all this stuff, which if you buy a virtual console game, you can play it on any of these things.
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting, but man, being able to, you were saying before that phone games and tablet games are good, and I agree they can be good, but they are not, in my opinion, for core purchases. And I don't think you can play Mario 2 on a smartphone. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with that.
So like, I don't know. It would be cool to have a Wii U 3DS like cross-save and cross-platform kind of thing going on. Phone and tablet, obviously. This again brings in the nature of the NX, which some people are like wondering: is this a phone? Is this
well, that's the question. Is it a phone? Is it the successor to the Wii U? Is it the successor to the 3DS? Or is it something that's kind of successor to both the 3DS and Wii U, where it's a mobile, home console and handheld thing, kind of what everyone thought the Wii U originally was.
Right, and I wonder, there's a lot of questions because Nintendo, people have been pointing out on the internet, rightfully so, Nintendo uses the word platform very loosely, which Amiibo, I think, is considered a platform, as someone was saying. So I think that them using the word hardware is very significant. They're making sure you understand this is hardware.
Well, also, there was like a flow chart, or not flow chart, there's just like a chart and Amiibo's not on there. So it's like, these are definitely like consoles in their head.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, Tim. I mean, I think this is significant news. This was a necessary step. This is a logical step. I'm interested to see how I think this will affect their business in the short term very positively. I wonder how it'll affect their legacy long term in terms of being able to create hardware. Because with Wii U not struggling to even get to 10 million units after 2+ years on the market, which is abysmal, their hardware, their home console sales are already really bad. 3DS is still a success when you don't compare it against DS, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
But again, will this cannibalize their ability to do hardware? It seems like having a cake and eat it too situation.
I'm a little less worried about if it affects that negatively as much as I fear that the mobile stuff will be so successful for them that it'd be stupid for them not to just put all their eggs in that basket and then slowly kind of go that way.
It seems like you might be right. I think this is fascinating. I was reading about this after I did my Mega Man marathon yesterday. I was in bed after dinner reading this, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like this is incredible."
Yeah.
Because people have been talking shit about this for years.
Forever. Yeah. And people are upset. The internet is very mad about this.
Well, I don't blame Nintendo fans for being upset about this because I do think this signals a new age for Nintendo, an age that you might not like very much.
Yeah, that's true. My big question is, what does this mean for Zelda Wii U? Like, are they going to pull another Twilight Princess and
that's an interesting point.
Delay it to come out with this new system?
Invert it so it's a backwards game.
Exactly.
To make Link right-handed. That's it for us. Tim, thank you so much for joining me on this.
Yeah.
This was a brief conversation, a reacts, as it were, for Nintendo's trio of announcements last night. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And of course, stay tuned to Kind of Funny Games for all things, well, games.